Happening now as we come on the air, fast-moving wildfires evacuating entire towns, thousands forced to flee. The first reports of casualties now coming in. Plus,
I don't want thoughts. I want gun control, and I hope to God nobody else sends me any more prayers.
One mother now pleading for gun control after losing her son in a mass shooting.
This is Fox 31 News at 10.
Good evening and thanks for watching Fox 31 News at 10. I'm Aaron Leedy. Developing news as we come on the air this Friday night. An agreement was made in the Albany Federal Courthouse after the Democratic Party filed a lawsuit against the Superintendent of Elections for Dougherty County. Fox 31's Alexandria Ikemoni is live in the studio with details from the court.
Yeah, Aaron, there were two different sessions today in court to be able to come to an agreement after the Democratic Party of Georgia filed a lawsuit against the Superintendent of Elections for Dougherty County. Now, the Democratic Party of Georgia alleges that a judicial injunction, a state holiday, and a natural disaster, which was Hurricane Michael, stopped the county from coming close to meeting its statutory deadline for providing absentee ballots to electors. According to DPG, this led to a violation of Georgia law and created a burden on rights of Dougherty County voters. So today, they went to court about it. The DPG appeared in front of Senior U.S. District Judge Louis Sands at the Albany Federal Court at 10 a.m. for a hearing, but the Dougherty County Board of Elections wasn't there. But there was an Albany resident testifying, saying she had a limited time constraints that she had to vote within. Now, Judge Sands says he took an extra hour to research and deliberate on what to do. A temporary restraining order was issued stopping the certification of ballots in Dougherty County. The decision was made that they'll come back for another hearing at 2 p.m. During the second hearing, a few Board of Election officials were there, and an agreement was made by the court to count all absentee ballots that were postmarked by November 6th, which was Election Day, and it had to be received on or before today to be counted.
We want to obey the law, and the judge said this is something we have to do. This is not an issue for us.
Voting rights are the foundation of our democracy, so we are celebrating that those citizens will have their votes counted.
Now, the Stacey Abrams campaign says the legal team is still very busy. They said they had a team going around the state talking to elected or election officials trying to resolve issues that they have. They add additional litigation will be made for other areas that can't be easily fixed. I asked who will be receiving a lawsuit, and their response was they weren't sure until they get back to Atlanta to talk to the rest of the team. Live in the studio, Alexandria Ikemoni, Fox 31 News.
New tonight, 5 o'clock today was the deadline for people to come in and fix their provisional ballots with the Dougherty County Board of Elections. The National Conference of State Legislatures says a provisional ballot means you were able to cast your vote even though there was some type of uncertainty about a voter's eligibility. It can be because someone didn't have identification or wasn't found on the voter polls. People in Dougherty County had until today to bring the necessary information for their vote to be counted.
I don't know when we're going to actually have the ballots ran. I don't have a certain time right now. I have to get a technician in, and the technician that was coming today will not be able to come next week.
Nickerson says they can't certify any votes until Tuesday because of the court's restraints. Right now, investigators are combing through a mass shooter's home and car after a night of fun took a dark turn into a horrifying scene of a massacre. Police are searching for what motivated the former Marine to shoot and kill at least 12 people at a California bar. The FBI says the shooter was Ian Long, a former Marine who police say took his own life. They add he was armed with a handgun fitted with an extended magazine and opened fire.
To find information that'll help us identify what the motive was for this sick, depraved individual.
And the mother of a victim of that shooting is talking about her son whom she loved so much. Susan Orfanos says she doesn't want any thoughts or prayers anymore. Instead, she wants gun control legislation.
My name is Susan Orfanos. My son was Tel Orfanos. We lost him last night at the borderline shooting. My son was in Las Vegas with a lot of his friends, and he came home. He didn't come home last night, and I don't want prayers. I don't want thoughts. I want gun control, and I hope to God nobody else sends me any more prayers. I want gun control. No more guns. Thank you.
Visibly shaken, as you just heard. Her son also survived last year's shooting in Las Vegas. The motive for that shooting in California is still unknown. Happening now also in California, wildfires continue to burn. Mandatory evacuations are underway as an out-of-control wildfire continues to burn in Ventura County. The fire, dubbed the Wfxl Fire, has burned dozens of houses and vehicles in its path. So far, it's burned more than 7,500 acres and is 0% contained. And officials say at least 5 people have died as a result of the fire. In the north part of the state, the Camp Fire forced more than 50,000 people from their homes, some with only moments to spare.
Everything was ignited. By the time I got out of my house, it was like everything was on fire.
Officials say they have a long fight ahead of them. They say more evacuations could be necessary.
We had some rain showers moving through some locations earlier this evening, but those really did wind down pretty much once they hit the I-75 corridor. They really did peter out, but those showers are along with the cold front that will be bringing some much cooler air to southwest Georgia for the weekend and for next week as well. One of my most favorite games to play is Where is the Cold Front? And if you guessed right through central Georgia, you'd be correct. Still 69 degrees right now in Albany, but Huntsville 42, Tupelo, Mississippi 41 degrees. So that cool air is rushing in behind this cold front, and that will set up not only cool days for the weekend and even next week, but also even cold overnights expected next week also. So the overnight for today, we did hit that 81 degree mark, got into the lower 80s with that southerly wind, some humidity, really keeping us on the mild side for today. 8 minutes shy, or 8 degrees rather, shy of that record of 89 degrees set back in 1986. And that overnight low, waking up this morning to 67 degrees, should be the last time for a while we'll wake up to temperatures near 70, as we've got a much drier and cooler air mass moving in behind that cold front. So those headlines, this weekend will be cool but dry. Plenty of dry time for the weekend, but if you're out early on either weekend day, you may need a jacket. The rain does return though with a bit more organization than for Monday, And overnight lows, not ruling out some overnight lows in the 30s, especially for the first half of next week. Here's the weekend for you. Otherwise, you might need a jacket. We'll have highs in the lower 60s for Saturday. Plenty of sun there for your Saturday as well. A few more clouds than expected on Sunday, but really those temperatures, these high temperatures in the 60s are where we were waking up to, temperatures we were waking up to for the last couple of days. So much cooler air is coming, but I'll break it down in a couple minutes.
New at 10, the 100th anniversary of the end of World War I is kicking off this weekend. How it's being celebrated all over southwest Georgia. Plus, it's a story you'll only see on Fox 31, how the increasing cost of a life-saving drug is putting patients' lives at risk.